What is going on, everyone? Neroku here, and I got some good news for all you console players out there. So just a couple days ago, there was a huge update that rolled out onto the PC servers, and there were so many new changes that are trying to fix the game and make it as optimized as possible. And the good news is, for all of you console players, because this was just released to the public on PC, the developers are going to be going through the game, seeing all the updates that they just implemented onto the PC, and making sure to update everything to make it as good as possible. So by this I mean if there's any errors or anything like that, the developers are going to work on it and make sure it is 100% crystal clear so that when it is released to the console there won't be as many errors and just things wrong with the update. So anyways, you guys are probably wondering, what is this update? When is it coming to the console? Well, usually when Wildcard releases updates for the PC, it usually takes like about a week, maybe a week and a half for them to roll out on console after that, just because they release to PC and then they have to go through Microsoft and everything, and it just takes a little bit longer for it to be released on console. So hopefully when it does release, all the little glitches and stuff that were in the game when it was released on PC, it will have been fixed in that week and a half, and when it is released on console, hopefully it will be amazing for all of you. So let's take a look at this new update and what was just released to the PC. So you guys know what the Managarmr is. Pretty much this thing is very powerful on official servers, and because of that there's just a lot of little implications and minor errors that could happen when using this thing. So before this update, all the structures, they would not block out the dive damage. What this means is when the Managarmr would dive down and hit the ground or whatever, and there'd be aerial damage, it would still end up hitting people who are through different structures, you know? Even if there was a structure in the way, it would still hit that person. So they fixed that, and that's really good because that was just a huge glitch in the Managarmr. They also fixed the issues with the dive damage not being reduced by armor. So even if you had the best of armor on, you'd still be taking a lot of damage from this Managarmr, which really wasn't fair for PvP. So also the Ice Breath, it now no longer goes through Managarmr when aiming backwards and aiming for the opposite side. So sometimes there were glitches with the Ice Breath and it was just going in every direction. It was just so weird, but they just fixed that, so that is awesome. That'll be rolling out onto the console servers very soon. Also, we have some exploits. So exploits are a huge part of the game, and there's just so many little things, including meshing, which I find as an exploit in the game, and they still haven't fixed meshing, and I'm going to talk about that later in the video, and hopefully they're going to be coming and trying to fix meshing very soon. But anyways, the fix for exploiting involving chairs. So if you're on rafts and different things with these chairs, sometimes there'd be a lot of different glitches along with the ladders, tap-a-jar, and the crabs. So all these things, there were minor little exploits for all of them and just little glitches that would happen whenever you use them, so they went ahead and fixed all those minor exploits. Now, this is a really big one. C4. You can no longer place C4 on platform saddles. Guys, I don't know if you know what this means, but there's no more suicide bombing with Quetzals. So there were a lot of videos that I saw online on people literally suicide bombing with Quetzals and bringing the Quetzal down into a base. You know, it would kind of like land midair, and then it would slowly go down towards the base, and then as it hit the base, the C4 would blow up. Obviously the Quetzal would die, but at the same time the base would be destroyed. So it was really overpowered. So I am very glad that you can no longer place the C4 on these platform saddles. It really balances out the game once again. But the tech bridge, so this was a new addition when the extinction was released. So they fixed the issue with placement where the bridge incorrectly identified other structures as enemy structures. So you can already think this is bad. Like other structures, if it's identified as an enemy, you can't really snap it to it, and it's also gonna, you know, it won't let you place it down if it's an enemy structure. So that, as you can probably imagine, was very annoying for all these tribes who are trying to build bridges, and it's like two structures, the pre-generated structures on the map, but you just can't place it down because it thinks that they're enemy structures and you can't place it. So that was very annoying, but I'm glad they finally fixed that. So the terminal, the fix for players getting disconnected when accessing a terminal with too much in their tribute inventory. So, holy crap, guys, if you've ever tried to go into a terminal and you have like dozens and dozens of just items in your inventory, sometimes your game will just crash and it'll disconnect. And it was really annoying because, you know, you're right next to a terminal, you have all your items on you, and then the game just crashes and you're like, what the heck is this? And you're trying to just transfer your stuff or whatever you're trying to do at that terminal, and you lose everything because someone just could run up, take your stuff, and run away. So that was really annoying, but I'm glad they fixed that. The turrets, they fixed turret damage calculation so that the damage is consistently at low frame rate. So this is just going to fix like a little bit of the optimization for the game and FPS. Nothing really big. It wasn't like turrets were overpowered or anything. They just kind of fixed some of that, and they fixed some of the frame rate. So the Spyglass, you can now press N on PC to turn on crosshair while equipped. So this is a huge update right here. The Spyglass, it's always had just the ability to look at different creatures and structures, and also you could see the name tag of what it really was, but it never really had a crosshair. So now if you press N, you can turn on the crosshair while it is equipped. I know there is a strategy. If you use the Spyglass, you zoom in on something and then you shoot with a long neck that doesn't have a scope. It works really well, so maybe this could come in handy and be even better for official PvP. Also, key binding. They added Whistle Land Flyers command into the key binding options so that it can be bound. So this isn't that big. I mean, it's just kind of helpful for people who have flyers, and now it's a little bit easier with the key binding, but nothing really big there. So the server stability, they fixed for the rare crashes. So once in a while, you know, on official servers, your game would crash. Like the game would just freeze, you know, you're trying to run around, but like you wouldn't be running, if that makes sense. Like you're trying to open a storage box, but it wouldn't let you open the storage box. That's because the game was crashing, and then it eventually, after like 30 seconds to a minute, it'd kick you out, and it would kind of like roll back the servers like 5-10 minutes. It was really annoying, but they went ahead and they fixed that. And also orbital supply drops. They fixed some for corrupt dinos being stuck in attack in place after the crate is completed or destroyed. So as you can probably imagine, that's very glitchy and just not really good for the game if you're seeing corrupted dinos just like running in place. I know this happens a lot. I've even opened up a few orbital supply drops and I've seen this happen, and I thought it was just like a weird glitch in the game. I didn't really think much of it, but I am glad that they fixed it, and they're trying to make the game much less glitchy. So the scout, they fixed the scout being destroyed by your own turret on spawn. So if you get a brand new scout, you get a really high level one, and then this has never happened to me, but I guess it was happening to some other players, but your own turret will like literally destroy it when it spawns in. That was stupid, and it's probably very annoying for everyone that it happened to. The Venusaur, the breath effects appears when the Venusaur is on low stamina only. And now the Mech, it enabled the hit pause on low FPS swings, and they also fixed for mechs consuming element dust. So that is very useful. Now they can finally consume element dust, because that is kind of how it kind of runs and works. So that's really good that they fixed the mech there. And the Titans, I don't think these things need any improving, but let's see what they improved on. They improved the placement of health bar for ice and forest Titans, so that's not really anything, you know, in the mechanics of the game, just where something is placed, along with the saddle physics improvements. So they didn't buff it, they didn't, you know, make it worse. All they really did was fix some of the different name tags or whatever, and they just fixed it and made it look more clean. And we're almost to the end of this list here, but let's look what we have here. The chat, they fixed formatting of names with embedded URLs. And then the cryopods, they improved the tribe log report. So I'm not really sure what that means. You guys could probably go ahead, and some of you probably know what this means. I'm not really sure. So let's look here for what we have for extinction. I just kind of scanned through, nothing really big, just some debuffs and just some other little things here. Nothing really big, like I said, but it does look like we are gonna have a lot of minor errors and just little things like the kill barriers and some meshing spots and stuff like that. They were all kind of fixed, but it's good because they're trying to make sure that the game is as optimized as possible, and they're finally focusing on the little things in the game and not just like the big things and new DLCs and all that. They're trying to fix and improve all the littler things in the game. So let's look at Scorched Earth. They fixed multiple map holes, nothing really big, literally not many people playing Scorched Earth anyways. The island, they fixed a map hole. Wow, big deal. I mean, I guess that's kind of big. Helps out with the meshing. But the mesh memory optimizations, so this is everything that they've been optimizing, making sure that it's better, just fixing. And let's look through what we got here. Zipline, the trike. So it looks like there's a mixture of different types of dinos, and at the same time different types of items. So it pretty much just looks like everything here, just a little bit of everything. They just took a handful of different things in the game, they've been optimizing it, and these are probably all the things that needed optimizing. Like there were minor glitches or minor errors in the coding or whatever, but they went ahead and they fixed all that, so that's really good. Let's look at the last thing here. They fixed items not displaying in the ARC data. So if you don't know what this means, when you're uploading or downloading, sometimes the game will glitch out and it just won't show up whatever you just put into the cloud. It was really annoying, and trust me, I didn't like it either. But finally, they are fixing that. Obviously, it didn't happen that often because people would be complaining about this all the time, but every once in a while it would happen to someone and they would get very triggered, trust me. But that's pretty much all the new additions to the console and the PC. But hopefully you guys can be looking out for this on console, Xbox, and PS4 to come in the near days. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe with post notifications on. And anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.